What is up, gang? I'll give it a second for YouTube to notify you that we are live. All right, looks like we got our first viewer. Let me know if you're watching live. Let me know what part of the globe you're coming from. Say hello in the chat. I'm in Corpus Christi, Texas. So if this is your first time chiming into one of our lives, welcome. Hector here from Corpus Christi, Texas, the Kettlebell coach. So if you're new and you have no clue who I am, for over 12 and a half years, I ran one of only two kettlebell-only training facilities here in Texas, second only to my mentor, Jason Marshall, who's in Lubbock, Texas. So we ran a kettlebell-only facility where we worked with men and women, mid-30s and up, basically to help them build stronger, leaner, more capable bodies in less time so they can have more time to do what they enjoy, and less time, quite frankly, less time trying to be the best at exercise. And so we did that for 12 and a half years. And then from there, we've moved on to other things. Now we focus a lot of building our community, building our YouTube channel here, and providing the members of our community with quality training programs to help them do exactly what we were doing in our gym. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, say hello, let us know in the chat what part of the globe that you are coming from. So what I will be doing, or what I have been doing from time to time, I did one about 2 weeks ago, is I would like to start doing more live Q&As here on the channel where you can pre-submit your questions. In the community tab of this YouTube channel, on Mondays, I will make a post where you can pre-submit some of your questions. So whatever questions you have around strength training, whatever questions you have around kettlebells, feel free to drop that in. That will help me prep. And then I would like to run that live on a Saturday. So give you a whole week to get your questions in. All right. So let's see, what did I cover last week? We talked about how to overcome injuries, right? So if you have an injury, the question was like, how slow, or should I get started slow? Should I get right back into that? I'll put that Q&A in the description of this one as soon as this one is done. And so what I want to talk about today, well, not what I want to talk about today, but the question that we had come in today was, how am I getting my cardio workout from kettlebells if I'm not running, jumping, or doing some type of aerobics? Am I leaving cardio out if I only use kettlebells? This is a really good question. So for context, my wife and I were walking. We usually go out for a daily walk once a day. That was kind of redundant. We go out for a daily walk once a day. Once a day. We were walking and we were talking about strength training. We were talking about the YouTube channel. And she says, hey, you said something in one of your videos about how fitness magazines of the world and PhDs and whatnot will say what hard stylers are doing. These are our members. What hard stylers are doing is impossible, but it's happening every single day. And, people will say, oh, kettlebell is a great tool, but there are many other things that you can do and should do, and probably. But if we get down to the nitty gritty, so as I mentioned, we work with men, women, mid-30s and up that are doing the wife thing, the kids thing, the family thing, the career thing, and then trying to stay in shape at the same time. So if we're trying to be efficient, and less is more is one of our key philosophies, if we're trying to be efficient, how can we get this done and be as effective with our time? So very traditional strength training information that's out there, or concepts is, training for an hour a day, breaking up your body into body parts, arms on this day, legs on this day, cardio on this day. Well, with kettlebells, you can bridge the gap and combine a lot of those things. And a lot of the students that we worked with were and are people that have mileage. I don't know about you. I've got mileage. Everybody has mileage. I've got an elbow thing. I've got a shoulder thing. I've got bad knees. So if we're talking about getting in cardio, if we're not running and jumping, how are we getting in some of our aerobic training? Well, kettlebells are broken up into two categories. Kettlebells, when I say kettlebells, kettlebell exercises are broken up into two categories. We've got grinds, which are your slow movements. Those are your presses, your squats, get-ups, and then other grinds, you've got, pull-ups, push-ups. Those are grind exercises. Those are slow-moving exercises. And then we have ballistic movements. Okay, ballistics, think of like a ballistic from a gun. Okay, those are dynamic. Those are powerful movements. So within the context of strength training with kettlebells, we've got swings, cleans, snatches, push presses, and jerks. Those would be your dynamic movements. Okay. So plyometrics, running, jumping, there's a lot of value to those, right? There's a lot of athleticism that goes into those. But if you've got mileage and if you have just problems, you're not going to get a lot of value out of those because you just can't do them. So this is where kettlebells come in. The kettlebell power movements, swings, cleans, snatches, etc., those are ballistic in nature. So you're going to get the same benefits from running and jumping, right? The building of the connective tissue, you're going to get those same benefits, but without having to leave the floor. So if you look at the pattern of a swing or a snatch, right, you're developing power from the ground up, and you're essentially, it's a jump pattern, essentially, right? You throw your, so if you're doing a broad jump, right, you would sit your hips back, you'd reach your arms back, and then you throw your arms forward as you jump to create that momentum, right, to jump up in the air. But you're not leaving the ground. Okay, so the swing, the clean, the snatch, that initial eccentric load as you're hiking the bells back between your legs, that's a jump pattern. Okay, and it's teaching you how to harness elastic energy. And the faster that you move, you're getting in cardiovascular training. Okay, the faster that you move, the harder that you jump. So we can apply those intentions behind our strength training, behind our swings. Like if you're doing swings without having to move up a weight, you can modify the effort. You can drive harder through your legs. You can swing faster. You can hike the bell back between your legs. Just those little variables require more effort. Same thing with your clean, and your snatch. And so another way you can look at this is if you happen to do martial arts. So my background's in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. There's a difference between, let's say you're rolling. There's a difference between rolling casually and just kind of working technique, and then you're flowing, and let's say like a 7-minute round. Or if you want to do more particular skill training, or you're trying to simulate maybe a competition, you would do a 2-minute round or 1-minute round. And the idea is you're behind on points and you've just got to move faster, right? So if you move faster and move harder, you're going to really increase your cardiovascular activity. Okay. So strength training with kettlebells, it bridges that gap between strength training and cardiovascular training. And there's some mobility and flexibility work that you can also do with kettlebells. So it's kind of hitting all of these areas at once. Now, are you going to become, I would even argue this, but are you going to become the world's strongest man, power lifter, by using kettlebells? No. But again, the people that we worked with, that's not a desired outcome for them. Like I want to improve my cardiovascular activity. I want to lose some weight. Like I want to look better. I want to feel better. I want to definitely get stronger, right? But really, I want to be able to do these other things. I want to be able to be active with my kids. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do jiu-jitsu, go golf, fishing, like whatever. Everybody has their own desired end outcome of being more fit. Well, kettlebells can kind of hit all of that in one 20 to 30-minute session. That was a big selling point for us with our gym. That was one of the things that made us stand out over a decade ago when we opened. We would do 30-minute sessions. So we told our audience, we would tell our students or prospects, if you will, that were considering working with us, was like, look, you can get this done in 30 minutes, 3 times a week. So we offered 2 days a week, 3 days a week training. And then eventually we offered an unlimited package where we had, we expanded to a much bigger facility, and we had the means to offer classes every single day, right? But even at that, the vast majority of our students, they built their whole entire life around Monday, Wednesday, Friday, whatever time they would come, 5 o'clock, 5:30, and our sessions were 30 minutes. So you can get this done in 90 minutes per week. And that was just a big selling point for us, because the message around that time was, man, you got to work out an hour a day, 6 days a week. Well, most people, and I think this is where most people fail to be consistent, is for many people, that can be hard to keep up with, an hour a day, 6 days a week. But we can do 15 minutes. Like, man, I can do 15 minutes. I can do 30 minutes tops. And so the majority of our strength training, the majority of our programs within the academy are built on basically what we've been teaching at our gym for over a decade. Strength training, 20, 30 minutes tops are what our programs deliver. So if you're wondering how you're getting in your cardio workout, well, that's where we incorporate the swings and the cleans and the snatches. Again, based on your skill, we would help you develop these skills so that way you can enter into some of these exercises. That's how you can get some of your cardio workout in without running, without jumping, or doing any kind of traditional means of aerobics. And no, you are not leaving out cardiovascular activity if you're using kettlebells, because you get to leverage and get to access those exercises. But it all comes down to how you program it, right? How are you putting it together? And that's where we come in, right? We take all the guesswork out of our students that are in the academy. Our private coaching clients is we design the plan so that way they don't have to guess how many reps, how many sets, how long should the training session be. We build all that out for them. So hopefully this answers the question. So that's all I got for you today. I wanted to jump on, answer that question really quick. If you've got questions for us that you would like us to answer, be on the lookout for our Monday post, where we will be posting and asking who needs support this week. What type of questions do you have? And depending on the amount of questions that we get, maybe I'll answer one, maybe I'll answer multiple, just trying to be as efficient as we can in these live Q&As. And that's all I got for you today. All right, guys. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.